Work, nigga. YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Black Atheist Branch. I'm back with it. You know what time it is. You know what's going on. Hallelujah, Father Figure, Sunday K Glory. Okay. I've been watching this video. I know everybody else has been watching this video. I've been taking notes on it, watching it back and forth, trying to see what's going on. And I just want to, like, this, I don't even know if this guy is a Christian or not. I'm sure everybody familiar with Jordan Peterson, but I've really been watching his videos. I'm just trying to see if he really believes this shit happened literally, or he's just trying to like pander to the crowd. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to see where he stands at. Does he literally believes these things happen inside of reality? That's what I've been trying to see. And so this portion of the video is the part that I wanted to react to first, but I'm gonna do like the other parts too. I just wanted to show y'all this part first. What you're about to see in this video, he does this a lot. You can't really pin him down on what he believes in when it comes to religious belief. Now everything else is black or white, yes or no. But when it comes to this shit, he just, for the life of him, can't answer these questions straightforward. So let's take a look at it and see what he's saying.
AI and in robotics as well, that we see the world of facts through something that when described as a story, because we have to prioritize our perceptions, we have to prioritize facts. And as far as I can tell, a story is a verbal account of how our perceptions and the facts that we encounter are prioritized. So for example, when you go see a movie, the movie has a hero, and what the writers do is they show you how the hero prioritizes his perceptions, what he attends to, and how he acts, and you derive from that the story of his life and his ethic. And the idea that we have a story, that we have to organize our perceptions in priority, and that the description of that organization is a story, that's a very revolutionary idea. And I think the postmodernists got that right. And I think that's why we have a culture war going on, at least in part, is because the idea that we see the world through a story, or that a story is a description of the structure through which we see the world, I think that's accurate, because we have to prioritize our perceptions.
So, Professor
So that part right there, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think you need everything doesn't have to be told through a story. I don't know if that's what he's saying, but from what I'm getting from it, like, the way the world works just is. Like, a lot of things can be explained and broke down without you having to use a story to understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, 1 + 1 is 2. I don't have to come up with a story where there's 2 dragons to show you that 1 + 1 is 2. That just is. Like, we can make sense of the world without putting everything into a fucking story. Everything doesn't have to be a poem, a riddle, a ritual, and some type of metaphor. Some things can be explained in layman's term verbatim. Like, everyday life doesn't have to be like this. You know, this type of shit has its place. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I like this type of shit in movies and plays and radio and music, but we're talking about reality. I'm on the side of trying to get an understanding of what's going on around me. And stories, I can't base my literal life on stories and poems and shit. Like, that's not how this works. We're trying to survive and thrive together. I don't have the privilege to walk around just, oh, these people are arguing. That's symbolism, like the story in the, like, I can't do that. Motherfuckers need food, water, shelter. We ain't got time to be trying to sympathize and symbolize with stories and shit. Every fucking thing doesn't have to be a story. Everything doesn't have to be fit into this box of, well, what story is this saying, or what is this which story have I seen in the Bible where I can relate it to this? Like, everything doesn't have to relate to some ancient myth, some ancient story. Like, some things are literally what they are, and they can be broken down in simple layman's terms. We don't have to talk like this about everything. And when it comes to our beliefs about the world, when it comes about real world, when it comes to facts and logic and reason and the things that actually exist inside of this world, we can't talk like this. This isn't, it's okay, but it's not necessary to speak this way. All this spooky language and all this crazy mythical, man, I can't hear this and go, I need to base my life on stories. Although you might see stories play out in your life, that don't make the story true. Although you can relate to characters in fiction in movies, that don't make the movie real. That's a movie, that's a book, that's fiction. We know that. And so what he's trying to do is basically say, well, because we see the stories in the Bible play out so often, that makes them real. Nigga, no, that's not how this shit works. We are talking about history, Mr. Peterson. Did these things in this book actually happen or not? I'm not talking about what you can symbolize it with. I'm not asking you what's happening in reality, what is happening in reality that looks like the story. I'm asking you about history. Did this shit really happen? Do these things really exist? This is not the time to pull out the mythical poem card where you just talking about, well, a story does take place in reality. So it might, no, nigga, no. Let's keep going.
A tricky problem.
Well, I would prioritize my perceptions like this. The facts that I care about are the facts that are true and have evidence
Yes.
going for them.
Yes.
I'm not that interested in symbols. I think, Dr. Peterson, you're drunk on symbols.
Yes, you mentioned, I've heard that comment, yeah.
Yes. I mean, for example, I counted up in your book, We Who Wrestle with God, the number of references to Cain. There are 356 references to Cain in the book and 20 references to the descendants of Cain. You're obsessed with Cain because Cain is symbolic of evil. All the evil in the world you more or less blame Cain for. And this is Cain. I mean, you don't believe Cain actually existed, I presume.
Well, I think of Cain as, well,
do you believe Cain existed?
I think the pattern that Cain represents is an eternal pattern. And
No. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm talking, like, no. He's asking you a straightforward question. Do you think Cain actually existed? I'm not talking about the pattern of Cain. I'm not talking about the traits that he have in the Bible exist? That's not what we're asking you, brother. We're asking you, did this person actually exist in history? This is not the time to patternize, or I don't even know if that's a word. This is not the time to pattern it to where well, you can say the things Cain did in the Bible, they play out through. No, nigga, that's not what we asking you. You need to pin yourself down on a side. Do you believe this shit is real and it happened and these people actually existed, or you don't? All this religious rigmarole, that's not what we talking about at the time. Now, if Richard Dawkins asked, if he would have asked him, do you think the patterns of Cain play out today? Can you see traits from Cain in people today? That's when you talk like this. But that's not what you're being asked, my brother. You're being asked, did this person actually exist? Yes or no? And watch what he say. Watch this.
Level of existence.
That's different. I realize that.
Well, there are Cain types who exist, and they're
there are Cain types. But Cain himself, I mean, you give the game away where you say in your book, Cain and Abel were the first humans to be born in the natural way. Now that betrays you as it were pretending you think they really existed, because you wouldn't have said they were born in a natural way unless you were muddling up facts with symbols there, because you don't think that Cain and Abel existed.
Well, what do I think about Cain and Abel? I said, I think the pattern that they
Do you think these people actually existed? Not the pattern, not their traits, not the symbolism, not a person named Cain, but this literal person. Do you think this person existed? Jesus.
Represent always exists. Always exists.
You understand that that's a different thing.
Quite a different matter. A pattern that they represent, the conflict between brothers, the rivalry between brothers. This is a fundamental pattern, which yes, it's something that's there. But I care about facts. I mean,
right. We're talking about the literal person, Jordan Peterson. Did the literal person exist?
They exist or did they not exist?
Right.
Well, I can imagine a situation where when the story was originated, that it referred to two actual brothers, but as the stories propagate across time, as they mutate, as they adapt, let's say, to the structure of human memory, they deepen and they become broader. And so then they become emblematic, not only of the pattern of conflict that might characterize the original two brothers that the story was.
No. What are you talking about? No. Ugh, God, man. This nigga won't answer a question at all. Yes, this is a yes or no question, bro. Yes or no. Did these people exist? Man.
But about the conflict between brothers as such, and then the more fundamental levels of conflict that exist within human beings, which is what you see in more sophisticated literature. It's like the biblical accounts speak of fact in a factual manner upon occasion, but the biblical accounts also speak poetically and metaphorically and allegorically, and people who are sophisticated.
But, oh my goodness, oh my God, no. We understand that the Bible speaks in metaphor and symbolism and all that bullshit, but that is not what you are being asked. I get what you're saying, but you're not answering the question genuinely. You're being dishonest. You're tiptoeing around the question. This not even what we talking about. Because nobody disagrees with what he just said. The Bible has things in it that you can relate till today. You can see things, you can read the Bible and see traits in people and actions people do and how they conduct themselves, and you can see it in reality. Who disagrees with that? We're talking about the historicity of it. We're talking about the facts. Not the symbolism, not the metaphor, not the poetry. The facts. Is this facts? Did this actually happen? For example, if you ask me, is Spider-Man real? I'm going to say no. But I'm pretty sure there's a neighborhood friendly guy going around and making sure old ladies cross the street in Manhattan, New York. Do you see the difference? I'm not saying that people can't dress up in that costume and help save the world, quote unquote. I'm just saying a literal Peter Parker, Spider-Man shooting webs, fighting Venom and Green Goblins and Dr. Octavius, that person does not exist until further notice. You see how easy that was for me? It's not this fucking hard. He's making this way too hard.
In biblical analysis have known this for centuries. The biblical literalists generally suffer from the problem that they don't even know what it means to be literalist. There's lots of unsophisticated ways of approaching a text.
Okay, let's see.
No. This is like, you know what it means to be literal. We know what it means to be literal. Like, come on, man. That was a weak ass answer. You don't know what you're being asked? It's crazy to me how he doesn't want people to take the Bible literal when back in the day they were unaliving people. They were killing people for what it literally says. They were literally causing harm in the name of this shit, and you don't want to take it literal. They were in reality going around killing motherfuckers who didn't believe in this shit, and now all of a sudden they want to just use it as a metaphor. No, we're going to take it literal now because they were using it literally back then. You don't get to play this word salad game now as if you don't understand the bloodshed this religion has, the bloodshed this religion has caused. You don't get to talk about it like this now. Let's talk about it now, how they talked about it back then, how they used it back then, what they did to us. We don't get to talk like, we don't have the privilege to talk like this about religion. No, we're going to talk about it literally because they used it literally. People were literally enslaved. People were literally lynched. People were literally burned at the stake. They used to kill women that they thought were witches, literally. So we're going to speak literal. We're going to talk about it literally because they used it literally. We are not in a position to where we can ignore everything bad religion has done just so we can use it as a poem and a metaphor. No, nigga. No, that's not what we fucking doing. We going to talk about it. Is this shit true? Were they unaliving? Were they killing? Were they discriminating? Were they causing harm in the name of a God that literally exists? Do these characters literally exist? Is this shit factual? Is this shit actual 100% history or not? If you want to talk about it like it's just a metaphor or a poem or just a story, then cool. They shouldn't have been killing motherfuckers in the name of it. They shouldn't have been treating it like it's the be-all, end-all. Don't tell me this is my guide to the galaxy, and then you got people like this telling me, oh no, it's just a metaphor. Don't take it literal. This is my literal life we got. People are literally indoctrinated to believe this shit is 100% objective truth. So don't tell us not to take it literal. We know what it means to be literal. We know what reality is. We know what facts are. You need to speak as if you understand the question you're being asked and stop trying to dodge it because you got Christians supporting you. No, we're not doing this. I see through the bullshit. My bullshit meter been ticking. I see through this shit. Let's see what we're going to end the video, but I want to see what Richard Dawkins got to say, then we're going to end it.
Mr. Dawkins thinks about that.
Well, I suppose I'm a literalist. I mean, and you give the game away when you say Cain and Abel were the first humans to be born in a natural way.
Well, I'm speaking allegorically there within the confines of the text. I mean,
you see that? You see what I'm saying? Allegory. Black people mistreated, enslaved, discriminated against. And it's justified in the Bible, but the shit allegory. Everybody that's been, woo, Lord Jesus, everything bad that's been done because of this fucking scripture. And to come to find out, the characters just allegory, metaphor, poems, and it's just symbolism for some, man, no, nigga, no. This is how they talk to the non-believers. This is how they talk to the skeptics. They talk to us like this. But when they get in their little religious circles, when they get in their ecosystem, they talk about it like it's 100% objective truth. Make your fucking mind up, nigga. Come to find out, a book full of allegories is what's leading to all this fucking damage and destruction out here. A book of myth. A book of metaphor. Woo, Lord Jesus. Let me finish. Let me finish it, y'all. I know I be pausing this motherfucker. Shit.
Meant by that was that the way the story lays itself out is that Adam and Eve are created by God, and so they're not emblematic of the pattern of human beings that exist in fallen history within the confines of the text. The first two people who are genuine, who aren't creations of the divine, are Cain and Abel, and so for me, they're emblematic of the patterns of conflict that rip people apart in the world of history, in the world of normal history.
Professor Dawkins, I know you take particular umbrage with that statement. That
as he should.
Cain and Abel were the first normally born human beings, but I think if I understand Dr. Peterson correctly, there are things that can be sort of true within a story. It's true that Sherlock Holmes lives at 221B Baker Street, right. And as far as I understand, that's maybe what you mean by the truth in the matter of Cain and Abel being the first naturally born humans. It's internal to the story.
Well, in the context of this story, they're the first two spirits or patterns you could think of, patterns of perception and action,
yes,
that characterize human existence in the fallen world, right? So they're emblematic of what happens in history outside of the whatever is meant by the pre-existent paradise.
But at the same time, you must know, I know this comes up all of the time when somebody says, but did Cain and Abel really exist? And I know that you want to say that the story which
I think it's a silly question.
No,
I think
it's
it's
not.
like asking whether Raskolnikov existed in Crime and Punishment. Like,
Right there. Did you see what he just did? He just compared the characters in the Bible to the characters in a fictional book. And what we're trying to show you is that people are basing their literal existence on this book that you are saying is on the same level as Raskolnikov or whatever that is in Crime and Punishment. That's fiction, brother. So you're comparing a holy Bible to fiction. If the Bible is fiction, say it's fiction. And if the Bible is fiction, everybody that's been mistreated because of this book literally have been mistreated over fucking nothing, over their favorite movie. They've slaughtered in the name of their favorite movie. They've slaughtered in the name of their favorite book. It's just talk about it like it's just a fucking book club. It shouldn't hold as much importance if it's just fiction. Why are we even talking about it if it's just fiction? Why have they done all this damage in the name of fiction, Jordan Peterson? If that's what you're comparing it to, if that's what you're using it as an analogy with the people in the Bible, is a character in a fictional book. That's crazy. If that's what you're comparing it to, then just say it's fiction. I'm trying to see if they're gonna wrap up, but I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it after in a minute. I'm trying to see what he's gonna say.
it's not a trivial question, because you can answer yes and you can answer no. You can say, well, there was no such specific person as Raskolnikov.
Which there
but
isn't.
It's not a helpful question, because the reason that Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment is a masterpiece is because Raskolnikov was everywhere in Russia when Dostoevsky wrote Crime and Punishment. And so Raskolnikov is hyper real, not real.
But to be clear, is that how you feel about Cain and Abel? That is to say, an identifiable
I think they're hyper real.
Homo sapiens called Cain.
It's irrelevant.
Who murders his brother.
In a sense, it's irrelevant to me, because it.
No. I'm gonna end it right here, because I could go all day, but we're gonna react to the rest of it. I'm gonna do like a break it down like as different videos. But he said Raskolnikov isn't not real, he's hyper real, meaning he's real in certain contexts. And is that how you feel about the people in the Bible? Is that how you view the Bible? Listen, this man would have got his head chopped the fuck off 2,000 years ago, speaking like it's just this shit ain't literal. It's just hyper real in certain contexts. They would have burnt this nigga at the stake immediately. He has the privilege to talk about religion this way. There are people who can't talk like this. All the damage that has been done in the name of this God, just for the people who look at how he talk about it, comparing it to fiction. Is hyper real, nigga. I'm not basing my life on no hyper real. What does that even mean? Hyper real? That's what he said. But it's just crazy to me how people are treating religion like this now. But what about all the people that were slaughtered in the name of it? All of the damage that's been done. And kind of find out is allegory, is metaphor, is symbolism, and is hyper real. We talking about literal reality and facts. They talking about hyper real and myths and shit. That's crazy to think about. Man, this dude, I don't even know how people take this dude serious when he talk about religion. Now, other shit, he might be all right. But this topic, he need to just let it go. Let it go. And just claim you're a Christian so you can get the Christian donations and the Christian support, and just let this shit go. This is not for you. But that's the end of the video. I'm gonna do the other parts of the video too. I just wanted to get this little nitbit right here. I appreciate y'all for rocking with the channel, man. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank y'all for liking. Make sure you comment on the video, subscribe to the video, like this video. If you want to see other shit like this, man, like the video. You fuck with me, like the video, subscribe. I love y'all. Black Atheist, I'm gone.